Hello guys, this is Arcturus. Welcome back to another episode of Escape from the Matrix. And in today's episode, I want to talk about a topic that some of you were eager to hear, and that is Jinn travel, also known as traveling to the fourth dimension with your physical body. That's right, our channel is not just about astral projection, but about traveling to any dimension as long as your consciousness allows it. And so, you might not know about this, but in esoteric circles, in mystical societies, Jinn travel, or traveling to the fourth dimension, is a skill that is much more valued than astral projection. Even though you are traveling to a lower dimension, that is a lower dimension compared to the fifth, which is the fourth dimension. And the reason for that is because to travel to the fourth dimension in Jinn state, you do so with your physical body, and that, my friends, it's much harder than astral travel with your astral body. Also, the biggest mystery of humanity could lie in the fourth dimension because, you see, mystics believe that the fourth dimension was the Garden of Eden from which Adam and Eve were expelled. In other words, this represents previous humanities such as Lemuria, which lost the ability to remain in the fourth dimension and were expelled to the third dimension. And that's why we are now living in a world which is less than ideal. So in today's episode, we will be talking about a famous Mexican scientist who was researching the fourth dimension and who went mysteriously missing, as well as his research on Mexican shamans that possessed the skill to accomplish impossible feats by being able to access the fourth dimension. Jacobo Greenberg was a Mexican neurophysiologist and psychologist known for his research on consciousness, perception, and shamanism. He combined scientific methods with the study of indigenous traditions. Greenberg founded the National Institute for the Study of Consciousness and developed the syntropic theory, which proposed a connection between the mind and a universal space-time structure. In simple terms, the fact that your mind can influence reality. Greenberg documented the work of several shamans. The most famous one was Pachita, whose real name was Barbara Guerrero. Pachita's healing abilities are some of the most extraordinary and controversial in modern spiritual and esoteric literature. She was considered a psychic surgeon and shamanic healer who worked in Mexico City from the 1960s until her death in the 1970s. Many of these testimonies come from patients, observers, and notably from Jacobo Greenberg, who studied her work firsthand. Witnesses, including Greenberg, reported that Pachita could perform surgeries without anesthesia or surgical instruments, often using only a rusty knife or even her hands. Patients were said to feel little or no pain, and many reportedly healed rapidly without infection. Perhaps the most astonishing claim is that Pachita could materialize organs or tissues out of thin air and implant them into her patients. Greenberg described watching her pull healthy organs from a wooden box or even manifest them in her hands, claiming they were generated from a higher dimensional template using her connection to a spiritual entity. For Pachita claimed to channel the spirit of Cuauhtemoc, the last Aztec emperor. During healing sessions, her voice and demeanor would reportedly change, becoming more authoritative and powerful. She referred to this spirit as El Hermano, the brother. Greenberg meticulously documented his experiences with Pachita in books like Pachita and the Shamans of Mexico, describing phenomena that defy scientific explanation. While his peers in the scientific community often criticized or dismissed his claims, he insisted on the validity of his observations, emphasizing the need for a new framework of reality. And this, my friends, the new framework for reality, refers to the fact that the mind and our beliefs influence reality. I highly recommend that you watch a TED Talk video on YouTube by Donald Hoffman titled, "Do We See Reality as It Is?" In it, Hoffman says that the way our brain works is that it filters out information for survival purposes, for the preservation of the species. That means that there are an unlimited number of phenomena happening around us, but we can only perceive a minuscule amount of these phenomena, only the ones that serve us for our survival. That means that there could be spirits around us, there could be gnomes, fairies, parallel timelines, so many phenomena that we cannot perceive because it doesn't serve us for the preservation of the species. We might sometimes perceive some things, although in a very limited way, and also we have something called the social conditioning, which narrows down our perception even more. As an example of this, we have certain countries where some social conditioning is more flexible than others. Mexico is one of those countries. In Mexico, most people believe in the existence of ghosts. Many people believe in the existence of gnomes, which in ancient Mexico were known as chaneques or aluxes. The Mayans believed that aluxes or gnomes were tiny humanoids generally associated with the world of the spirits and nature, something which also happened in ancient Japan, where people within the Shinto religion worshipped the spirits of nature. In today's Mexico, a lot of people claim to have seen gnomes, particularly in the south of Mexico. I had a student when I was giving meditation classes that told me that she and her kids were driving in the south of Mexico and saw a group of gnomes crossing the highway. I myself have seen a gnome when I was a kid, and I was not alone, let me tell you. I was with a teenage nanny taking care of me, and she saw it too. I talk about this experience also in my books. Many times, kids are able to see gnomes or other phenomena that belongs to the fourth dimension, and as time goes by and their minds get conditioned, they lose memory of those events. That means that you probably have suppressed memories of unexplainable phenomena from your childhood. Iran is another country where they have a tradition on believing on strange beings from another dimension, and that's where the word Jinn comes from. If you met anyone from Iran, and I've met quite a few people from Iran and they are wonderful, ask them about whether they've seen a Jinn, and they will tell you that either them or a relative have encountered a Jinn in the past. Jinns, according to the tradition of Iran, are humanoid beings, sometimes with animal characteristics, which possess incredible powers. In fact, the word genie comes from the Persian jinn, and was adapted to the French vocabulary when the French were the first to translate 1001 Nights, which is a Persian tale that talks, among other things, about genies, such as the genie inside the magic lamp of Aladdin. Persian people often say that they've met jinns because jinns have been introduced to Islam, and jinns are creatures described in Islamic literature. For that reason, Muslim people, particularly from Persia, where the tradition started, believe in the existence of those beings, and because of that, people are not social conditioned and they are not repressed to believe in jinns. Since jinns come from the fourth dimension and possess magical abilities, the abilities to travel to the fourth dimension are known by mystics with the name of Jinn techniques. Jinn techniques not only allow you to travel to the fourth dimension, but they allow you to bypass the limits of the three-dimensional world, such as the feats performed by Mexican shamans as documented by Dr. Jacobo Greenberg. When I was part of an esoteric society in Mexico, I learned Jinn techniques to travel to the fourth dimension and have been able to take my physical body to the fourth dimension for a short period of time. Like, let me give you the example of the last time that I was in the fourth dimension. I use a Jinn technique that involves the use of this seed that in Mexico they call it a deer's eye. And so you perform a series of mantras while you are lying in bed. And the first time that I tried it, I don't remember if it was the first time that I actually worked. Maybe it was the second time. I don't remember. But I basically found myself in a state where I didn't know whether I was dreaming or awake. It's something very similar to astral projection or to sleepwalking. And so basically I saw that a part of the husk of the seed fell off. And I don't know why I worried. I was like, I think I need to pick it up. You know, perhaps at those times your mind doesn't work exactly the same. So something just told me, like, you have to pick up the part that fell off. And so I stood up and went to pick it up. And when I went to pick it up, I just felt like something was off. I was in my room, but it just felt different. It's similar to astral projection. In astral projection, you feel something like this, but this was still something different. And I know this because I'm familiarized with astral projection. So I picked it up, and at that moment I realized, like, what's happening? I think maybe I'm in Jinn state. And then I felt like I was pulled back to the bed, and that sensation is similar to astral projection when you go back to your physical body. But in this case, when I was back in bed, I just saw something very unusual. I saw like a shadow, sort of like myself, going back to my physical body, which is something that I normally don't see when I astral travel. And it felt, and I started feeling this like vibration and this sound, like this frequency. And when you astral travel, you also hear something and feel a vibration. But in this occasion, it was just different than the normal one that I'm used to experimenting. And so then it's as if, what really happened is that I was out with my physical body, like my physical body actually got up from bed, and it got back to the bed like probably faster than anyone could have seen. I don't know if I'm talking about the speed of light or something like that. I don't know. Maybe if there was somebody watching, that person wouldn't have been able to see that I got up from bed and I got back to the bed. Like maybe it happened like in a fraction of a second, and I believe this because I had a spiritual guide, a spiritual master, who was able to do Jinn travel. And basically, I knew from him and from other people that they could be here with us, but they can also be anywhere else in the world. And the way they do it is that their physical body moves too fast for anyone to see. So in a fraction of a second, or even more, maybe at the speed of light, they can travel through the fourth dimension with their physical bodies. And in the fourth dimension, time exists, but time is flexible. Like you can navigate time according to your will. So maybe they spend like 1 hour in the fourth dimension doing research, doing who knows what, and then they go back to the third dimension. And if they are among people, the people will not notice, because in the three-dimensional world that happened too fast for the eye to register. And that's something that I just talked about the different phenomena that we cannot perceive. And so this is not the first time that I do a Jinn technique. I've done quite a few, and I've had some amazing, wonderful experiences, although I've only been able to be in the fourth dimension for a matter of seconds, right? So that's why every day I'm actually working towards being able to repeat the experiences in the fourth dimension and be able to remain there as long as possible. So if you want to know more about the Jinns and about the fourth dimension, I recommend you to read my book, Occult History Volume 1, which is available on Amazon. Remember, my name Arcturus. And also, if you want to learn Jinn techniques or astral projection, remember that you can check my website, which is escapefromthematrix.com. But now I've changed that to Soul Reunion Path. And as I explained in another video, now I'm more focused about teaching my students how to astral travel so they can reach their deceased loved ones in the astral plane. But if you want to learn anything in the astral plane, such as visiting the Akashic Records or Jinn travel or whatever you want, I can still do that. Just visit my website and send me a message, or you can send me a message here, and we can prepare a routine for you. We can do training for you especially designed for whatever you want to achieve. And it's going to be one-on-one training. And trust me that you're going to learn a lot, and you're going to be able to astral travel or even Jinn travel. So that's it for today. I hope that you liked my video, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video.